Om Asato Ma Satgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from darkness to the light, and from mortality to the immortality. Oh, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, today is a very auspicious day for everyone who is seeking after truth, who wishes to get away from the suffering, from the unhappiness. And also, the Vaishaka Purnima is the thrice blessed day. Very few people may be knowing that, because on this auspicious day, the Lord Buddha, the great saint, the great person, divine person who took birth, who descended on this earth, and also he attained the enlightenment, the Bodhisattva, on the same day, on the third day. And what is the third reason is because on the same day, even he left his mortal calling. He immersed himself into the cosmic entity where he tried to embrace everyone and try to help the persons, everyone who is seeking for truth, who is searching for truth. So that's the reason it is the thrice blessed day today. We are all motivated. We are all anchoring for pleasures, for happiness. From dawn to dusk, from our birth, from the child to the old age, to the till death, we all go behind happiness. We all go behind pleasures. And when we don't get, or when we get some beatings, when we get some sufferings, then immediately the question will come for many of us, is this the life? Or why all these things are there? Good, bad, right, wrong, happiness, unhappiness, all these things. So either happiness or unhappiness, these are the two great teachers for all of us, as Swami Vivekananda beautifully puts in his Karma Yoga lectures. So similarly, a young prince by name Siddhartha, who was in then the present Nepal, the border between India and Nepal, that was his kingdom. That was the place where he was living. And he had a wonderful wife, a beautiful wife he had, Gautami, and he had also one beautiful son. And his life was full of riches, with full of pleasurable events, pleasurable moments, and he never had any problem at all. The story is, once he had taken the trip to go out from the kingdom. When he went out, according to the story, he saw three things. What is that? First and foremost in the life, he saw the old person, where there was a lot of wrinkles on his face, and he was holding a staff, and he was a stick, and he had bent his body because of his old age, and with all difficulties, he was walking. So for the first time, the prince Siddhartha saw this, and he asked the charioteer, his driver, that, who is this? What is this? Why is like this? He said, oh my Lord, that is called old age. When a person becomes old, so his skin becomes wrinkled, and that's how he gets bent. Then Siddhartha asked, oh, does it mean that everyone gets old age? He said, yes. Do I and do you? He said, yes. So the moment when we ask, when we hear this, we feel strange. That means till then, had he not seen any old person at all? No. His father Shuddhodana, he had heard from an astrologer. Either he will become a great king, monarch, or he become an ascetic or a life of mendicant, monk. So he had seen that, he had taken care that no death or no unhappiness, no person who was deceased, who was old person, will come in front of the prince Siddhartha. So till then, he had never seen any of these things. So first time, it was a very rude shock for Siddhartha to see an old man. Then he continues his journey and he sees again one more person. He was a sick person, had probably a skin disease or whatever. Then Siddhartha again, he felt very bad about it, and he was astonished, and he said, "What is this? Why it is?" Again, the charioteer, the driver says, "My lord, he has got a particular disease, skin disease. That's why he has got such a unusual skin." Then he said, "Then will I get?" He said, "Yes." And the third thing, some people were taking a person on the mat. In Indian scenario, you should say, like 4 bamboos, they will tie each other and the mat will be spread, under the dead body will be laid down and they will carry. That was the old system. And so he saw the dead body with a group of people. So Siddhartha asked again his charioteer, "Hey, what is this? Why is he sleeping? Why the people are carrying him? So is he not able to walk?" He said, "No, my lord." Why? Because he has died. He's no more. Death, what does it mean? Means, according to him, his limited understanding, he says that the soul has left the body. That's the reason he's dead. So the people are taking him for cremation. Oh, that means, will you die? Yes, my lord, someday. So then I'm a king, I'm would-be king, I'm a prince. Will I die? Yes, lord, even you may die. You will die, my lord. So these are the 3 instances, situations which shocked the mind of Siddhartha. Now, the question is, in the Siddhartha's case, when he was at his probably middle age, at least his 25, 30s, he saw this. Whereas from our birth, we are seeing all these things. But just 3 incidents was enough to kindle, to burn the fire of renunciation, or to awaken the discrimination, to find out what is truth, how to end the suffering in Siddhartha. That's why his mind was ready. A small incident was enough for him to get awakened. Whereas in our case, we are keep on seeing, we are keep on experiencing all these things. Many times we don't get awakened. We are not since enlightened. Whereas in the Siddhartha's case, these 3 incidents were enough to make him to think, what should I do? What is life? So because why? Because he's an awakened person, or immediately his discrimination got awakened. And then if so, who is this Siddhartha? Who is this Gautama Buddha? If you ask, is an angel? Is a god? Is a human being? What is he? So this question was asked to Buddha himself after his enlightenment. Who are you? What are you? Are you God? Are you an angel? Or are you just human being? Are you the celestial being? Who are you? The Gautama Buddha gave a beautiful reply that I am enlightened. Means I am the Buddha, means I am the enlightened person. So what do you mean by that enlightenment? What did he achieve? So he achieved that what is the suffering? What is the cause of suffering? And if there's a cause, then there should be also a solution. What is the solution for suffering? And implementing the solution or practicing the solution of the suffering, he get rid of, or he came away from the suffering. That is what of noble truths, 4 noble truths. After his enlightenment in the Bodh Gaya, which is in Bihar, present India, Bihar, in 1 week after his enlightenment, according to the story, it goes, for 1 week, he was in that trance, divine trance. After a week, he felt that this enlightenment, this knowledge, I should give for everyone. And he came near Saranath, where near Banaras or Kashi. There, he got 5 people, his own monastic friends, who became the friends. Dharma Pravartana Chakra, we say, where he started giving, is where he gave his first sermon. The first sermon, the essence is 4 noble truths. Arya Sattani. So what are these 4 noble truths? We will try to understand. The 4 noble truths is, and of course, because he had also studied Sankhya, which is one of the system of philosophy, Indian philosophy. So that effect was there also on Gautama Buddha. That can be the reason, maybe. He said, first and foremost is, there is a suffering. Either you are a rich billionaire or you are a poor person. You are a healthy person, you are a deceased person. You are a celebrity or you are not achieved anything. Whoever it may be, till from your birth till death, for every being, there is a suffering. Dukkham asti. That we have to understand and we have to accept. So that is the first sutra, first aphorisms of this 4 noble truths, or this is the first truth. Okay, so there is a suffering. So there is an unhappiness. If there is a cause, there is an effect. For an example, I have got a fever. So that is the effect. If so, then there should be some cause. Because there's an infection in the body, that is a reason. The infection is the cause. Why? Because maybe it may be food, because of weather or whatever. So if the effect is a fever, the cause is some infection. So similarly, if the effect is the sorrow, unhappiness, then there should be cause, isn't it? So what is that cause? There is a suffering. That is the first noble truth. And he said the second noble truth is, there is a cause of suffering. And what is the cause? He said, Trushna or Tanha. In the Pali language, it is Tanha. And in Sanskrit language, it's Trushna. In English, a rough translation can be made as desire. Then the third is Dukkha Samudaya. He used the word Dukkha Samudaya. And the third, he said, Dukkha Nirodha. Since there is a cause, the cause is the desire. Craving, desire or craving for enjoyment, then then how to eradicate it? How to end the suffering? Nirodha, Dukkha Nirodha. He said Nirvana. Again, the Sanskrit word is Nirvana. If the Pali language, if you say, it is called Nibbana. Then, okay, there is a suffering. There is the cause of suffering, that is desire. And the third is eradication of suffering, or elimination of suffering can be done, that is to nirvana or nibbana, enlightenment we say, moksha we say in Indian language, philosophical language. Then the fourth is that, then what is the path? The path is Ashtanga Marga, 8-fold path. Now in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, we read Ashtanga Marga, yoga there. So that is Ashtanga Yoga, here it is Ashtanga Marga, 8-fold path. So we'll try to understand what are these 4 noble truths. So the first I said, there is suffering. We might have heard most of us, many of us, that yes, there is a suffering Buddha has told, and the desire is the root of suffering. But according to the Buddhism, they have made a very fine thinking, and they have sizzled out, and they have made a beautiful understanding and beautiful study about the suffering and about the nature of suffering. So according to the Buddhism, and with my limited knowledge, they speak of 3 levels of suffering, or 3 types of suffering. It's very interesting actually, when I studied also. We have never thought about this. 3 types of suffering we have got, or 3 levels of suffering. What is the first type of suffering or level of suffering? That is suffering of suffering. The first type or the first level of suffering is suffering of suffering. Oh, it is something jingling with the words we may feel. So what we mean that? I have got some suffering. I have got some problems. So because I have got a problem, but because of that problem, due to that problem, I suffer. That is what suffering of suffering I mean. For an example, I was going. I met with an accident. So there is a problem in my body now. For example, I had a fracture, bone fracture. So there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of suffering. Because there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of suffering. Due to that, I'm suffering. So this is at the physical level. You can say maybe accident, diseases, whatever the physical pains are the sufferings which is created because of at physical level. All these things are called also are the part of suffering of suffering. The second is mental sufferings, anxiety, tension, depression, unnecessary stress. What will happen about thinking always future? What will happen? What will happen? So all this anxiety, tension, depression, inferiority complex, superiority complex, all these things, mental agony we say, all these mental agonies are also part of suffering of suffering. Because I have got depression, since I have got a depression, I am suffering from depression. So this is what again, suffering from suffering. Now, according to the Buddhism, and of course, so psychology also, this either the suffering of at the physical level or at the mental level, for most of these sufferings, we have got a solution. For example, you got a fracture, you show for a doctor, and whatever he gives us medicines, and he might put bandage, and he might ask us to take rest. And similarly, you got some inferiority complex, get away from that with the self-confidence, and you got anxieties, get away, have a discrimination and get away from anxiety, and you got a tension, and again with the discrimination, and with the analytical thinking, you can get away all these things. We have got solutions. And the second type of suffering, it is a philosophical approach, I can say. It is a beautiful thinking also. We have, every one of us, we have to think a little more, though because of less of time, just I will brush up all this. I will mention suffering of change. Why? Because there are so many changes are happening in our life. That's why we suffer. That this beautiful point can be understood in two ways. I had mobile. I got new mobile. I was so happy. I was so excited. Oh, I've got a mobile. And I started telling people, informing people that I've got a mobile, and I started putting status. Yeah, I got my mobile. And I took the photo and I sent for many people. And I'm enjoying. Went for a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days, or maybe 10 days. Then afterwards, this mobile, okay, I'm using it. This mobile is not giving the same amount of joy. Because now I'm addicted to mobile, I'm not able to take care of my studies properly. If I'm a spiritual seeker, I was meditating. Because of mobile, I'm not able to meditate properly, or I'm not able to concentrate on my work. So initially it gave some momentary pleasure, no doubt, but afterwards, the suffering and the problem are the same amount of joy we couldn't derive, and the other thing, the product, it followed it. Now, that person was very good. I made a friendship. We are all going well. But suddenly, at some point of time, the relationship broke. I felt, I never thought he was such a rogue. I never thought he's such a person. No. Because people change. Situation, we thought something and it was going on. Suddenly it changed. People change. Situations change. There are so many changes because change is eternal. According to the Buddhism, one school of Buddhism. Even Heraclitus, the Greek philosopher, says, everything is in flux. Flux means change. Everything is in change, he says. For some people, there's a Western school of philosophy, they say that change is eternal. So we suffer from change. This is what suffering of change. And the third is pervasive suffering. What do you mean by pervasive suffering? The pervasive suffering, according to the Buddhism, is the suffering which comes from Panchaskandha. Panchaskandha is the aggregate of 5 items. So what are the aggregate of 5 items? The first, even the Buddha says, Buddha said, or the Buddhist philosophy also says, the first is body, rupa. Because we have attached so much ourselves to this body, physical body, rupa, that's why we suffer. This is what pervasive suffering, he says. Then the second is Vedana, sensation. We are sensitives, and because of body and because of some pain or whatever, we suffer. And the third is Sangha, Sangam is conception. We can say perceptions also. And the fourth is samskaras. Our whole mind is a storehouse of impressions. Either you can say good impression or bad impression. Many people, sometimes they come and say, Swami, we are not able to sleep. We are not able to have a good sleep. Please give us some medicine. Please give us some titbits. Please give us some solution. Why they are not able to sleep? Because their mind is disturbed. Why their mind is disturbed? Because their mind is a storehouse of thoughts, unhealthy thoughts. As a result, because of unhealthy thoughts, their mind is disturbed. They are not able to sleep peacefully. They are not able to concentrate properly. They are not able to concentrate in a work or in family life, whatever. So, samskaras. Our whole mind is full of samskaras. And the fifth one is vijnana. Vijnana means here, it is mind. Because mind has so many thoughts, it is restless, it has got so many things. It is a wonderful weapon, no doubt, when it is properly handled. Otherwise, it can create a nuisance. It can create nonsense for us. So Panchaskanda, they say, because of this, there's a suffering for us. And even we can say from Advaitic point of view, that we feel that we are body and mind. I am body and I am mind, I am thinking. I am thought, I am mind, I am thinking, I am emotions, I am body, I am thinking. That's why I'm suffering. And also, this is philosophically, they discuss three kinds of sufferings. And from other way, logically, Buddhism also lists out 8 types of suffering. So this all comes under the first noble truth. There is a suffering. So what do you mean by suffering? The nature of suffering has been discussed in detail. So first is suffering of birth. Why? Because I took birth, that's why suffering started. If I had not taken birth, then there would not have been any suffering at all. So the first suffering, the first type of suffering among 8 types of suffering is suffering of birth. The second is, because since I have born and I'm going to die. Since there's a manufacture for an item and also there will be expiry date for it, isn't it? Generally, it may be 100 years, it may be 1,000 years, but there's a date of manufacture and expiry. So they mean suffering of death. This is called abhinivesha in Sanskrit. The phobia of death. Death may come, death may come, death may come. Suffering of death, second one. The third is suffering of old age. We all like young age because with full of body and mind, vigor and all, we like. No one likes old age. Oh, I'm becoming old. I'm getting hair gray. I'm getting white hairs. Of course, not white hairs we can see in the youngsters also, but at least earlier it was not so. So suffering of old age, third one is. The fourth is suffering of disease. I may get cold, I may get cough, or I may get fever, I may get some body ache. And slowly, once you get old age, there's so many problems will be there. Like today, like appendicitis, we say blood pressure, we can say cardiology, heart problems, obesity, diabetic, E, eye problem, F for fistula, G for gastroenteritis. Like there's so many things we can keep on giving, a big list. So suffering of disease, because of disease, we suffer. And the other 3 sufferings are very beautiful, sir. Analysis. The suffering is due to contact with the unpleasant things. For an example, I'll give a very crude example. I am working in my office. I had a manager. He was very good and I was also good. Our relationship was going on well and I was very happy. And it was a paradise for me to go to my office. All of a sudden, there was a change in the manager. There's a new manager. Whether there's a problem in manager or not, I do not know. But I have got a problem with him. Now, because of so many reasons or whatever the reason, I cannot get away from this company. I've got a lucrative job, handsome salary, all these things. So as a result, I somehow have to continue with this guy who is unpleasant for me. I've got a lot of unpleasant experience from our manager, but I have to continue to stay with him, to work along with him. So like that, there are unpleasurable moments, unpleasurable items, unpleasurable situations with all of us, but we may have to continue with them or with all of them. So because of that, we suffer. And the 6th type of suffering is suffering from severance of contact. Oh, he is a very good person, but at the same time, I have got a suffering, or I've got anxious that because so many friends, good friends I have lost, I may lost him or her also. So suffering good things, because I have got a phobia, I've got fear that I may lose these good things. I may lose the power, I may lose position, I may lose name and fame, I may lose good items, I may lose good people. Relationships can be hampered. So because I suffer that this may go away, these things go away, these things may get away. That's why I suffer. And one more general suffering is because my desires are not fulfilled. I am trying so much, but all my desires are not fulfilled. All my wants are not fulfilled. And the third is because I'm clinging to body and mind, that's why I'm suffering. Of course, there's the root cause according to Advaita Vedanta. This is the root cause for all our suffering. So these are the 8 types of sufferings as been explained in Buddhism. Now, so enough, I think we have got a lot of discussion about suffering. Then let us go for the second noble truth, that there is a cause of suffering. So the suffering is there, suffering exists. We have to understand, we have to accept now, according to the Buddha. So the second Arya Sattani, or the second noble truth, as told by Buddha, is dukkha samudaya. Means there is the cause of suffering. What is that? Trishna or tanha, or other translation can be say craving for desire, craving for enjoyment, or desire, or thirst for pleasure, thirst for existence. This is what the cause of suffering. And here they bring the beautiful philosophy, pratitya samutpada, dependent origination. Again, it is a wonderful concept. If people are interested, definitely we should make a good study about this, that there is a dependent origination. So the dependent origination, just I will mention you the link on, I will mention, I will not be able to go in detail. According to them, even the Buddhist philosophy is first the dependent origination, 12 linked chain. It starts from avidya, ajnana, or ignorance. And from ignorance, impressions, samskaras, it comes. And from samskara impressions, then mind is created, because mind is full of impressions. And because of mind, nama and rupa, form and shape, name and form, it is created. And because of that, shad aitanana, 6 things are created. Rupa, rasa, gandha, shabda, sparsha, all these things are created. From that, vedana, experience, positive experience, negative experience, neutral experience, so many experiences are created because of sense organs and sense objects. And because of experience, thirst for desires, thirst for positive experience, thirst for desirable things has been created. Trishna or tanha, they say. And from that, upadana, badlavane, means change. There's so many changes are happening. Sometimes we welcome it, sometimes we don't welcome it. And from that, the bhava, it is arised. Existence, the feeling of existence. I want to exist at all times. The fear of existence is always with many people. That's what we see very clearly in the old age. And from that, jati means birth. And again, from that, jara and mrityu, that is old age and death. So these are the 12 linked chain, dependent origination, or pratitya samutpada. So because the Buddha has told, the Lord Buddha, or the great person Buddha has told that there is a cause of suffering. So what is the cause? According to Buddhist philosophy, they give this dependent origination, pratitya samutpada they call. So these are the 12 cause and effect relationship or chain according to them. Then the third, Arya Sattani, or the noble truth is, now we have come to know what is the cause, then we have to know what is the solution. Okay, I've got a fever now, I understood. That is a problem, there's a problem in my body, okay, because I'm suffering, and suffering is because of my fever, fine. And now how to eradicate the fever? How to get away this fever? And there should be a solution, maybe taking antibiotics or a paracetamol or some medicine or whatever. So similarly, the Lord Buddha, or the great personality, divine personality, Buddha says that, yes, there is a solution for this suffering. What is that? Nirvana or Nibbana. Dukkha Nirodha, he says. How to control Nirodha, how to eradicate Nirodha. How to eradicate Dukkha, the suffering or unhappiness, how to completely cease this unhappiness. He says that is called Nirvana or Nibbana. And also they use the word like extinguishing. For example, when you extinguish the fire, then there will be no problem. So similarly, you extinguish all the desires. And in Theravada, Hinayana, this has discussed in lot, this extinguishing thing. They will give a lot of example. Means extinguishing the desires, extinguishing the ignorance, and becoming enlightened. So this is what they say, Bodhisattva. Extinguishing is nothing but the Bodhisattva. That is what Nirvana and Nibbana. This is what the third Arya Sattani, or the third noble truth they speak of. And the fourth, now we have understood there is a suffering, and there is a cause of suffering, and there is a solution of suffering, Nirvana. We understood. Now, how to attain the Nirvana? The solution is Nirvana. We came to know, fine. Now, for an example, you take a paracetamol tablet, your fever is removed, or your fever can be checked. You can get it, can be cured. Doctor has prescribed me, fine. Now I have to get the paracetamol tablet. For that, I have to go walk. I have to go and I have to walk and I have to get the tablet and I have to consume, isn't it? So similarly, now Nirvana is the solution to eradicate the suffering, to stop the suffering, to cease the suffering, as Buddha has told. Now, the fourth noble truth, fourth Arya Sattani is telling that what is the marga? What is the way out? Dukkha Nivrutti Marga or Dukkha Nirodha Marga, it is called. Path of cessation of suffering. How to end the suffering? There is a path. What is that path? Ashtanga Marga, eightfold path given by Lord Buddha. And it's a beautiful path this is, and which contains all our morality and ethics in this. That's why Swami Vivekananda says, he is one of the greatest moralists. Ever seen such a moralist? I have never seen such a moralist like Buddha. And he had a magnanimous heart. Why? Because after attaining the enlightenment, he never kept himself enjoying that enlightenment or the happiness. Rather, he felt he had a suffering. He found out the root and he found out the cause. And also he found out the solution also. And he implemented in his life, and he got away. He got rid of suffering, no doubt. But he didn't stop there only. He tried to preach and to help everyone to get rid of this suffering. That's why Swami Vivekananda used to admire Lord Buddha for his magnanimous heart, for his universal heart. He felt not only for him, he felt for every being on this entire earth or in this entire universe, for every being. That's the reason he traveled for a larger part of the India and he tried to preach. So now what is the way out? What is the path which given by Lord Buddha? It contains eightfold path or Ashtanga Marga. It contains 8 points or 8 items. First point is Samyak Drushti, means right view. That's what we say. Yad bhavam tad bhavati. As you think, so you become. That's what we say even in Advaita Vedanta. Perceptions. Because our perceptions are wrong, that's why we are suffering. So why have to do sadhana? Why have to clean my mind? Why have to clean my mind? Because my perception becomes clean. Just like if the glass is dirty, then I will not be able to see. The mirror is dirty, I will not be able to see my face properly, isn't it? The moment when I clean the mirror, I will be able to see my reflection. So similarly, when my mind is cleansed, then the reflection of Atman is clean clearly, and I will be able to understand I am the Atman. That's what we see in Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy. Here also, he's saying, Samyak Drushti, right view. So right is fine. View about what? He says that about Arya Sattani. Right view about 4 noble truths. The first condition or the first point, first item is right view about 4 noble truths. So Buddha is telling that you try to understand the 4 noble truths in a proper way, in a correct way. Because if you don't understand in a right way, then you may miss the thing. For example, you've got a route map. If you don't understand, do properly, you may mislead or you may go and reach some other place, isn't it? So that's why the first point or the first item in the Eightfold Path, according to Buddha, is right view. Right view about the Arya Sattani, or right view about the Four Noble Truths. The second is Samyak Vak, the beautiful thing. In the Bhagavata, we say, Yogasya Pratamadvaram Vagnirodhanam. The first step for yoga is control your tongue, means control your speech. So this is what here, even the Lord Buddha is saying that Samyak Vak. You have to control your speech and you have to speak always good things. We should never hurt others. Vak tapas, as beautifully discussed in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna, in the Daivasura Sampad Vibhag, either in the 16th chapter and the 17th chapter. One is we have to control the speech. We should not unnecessarily speak, and at the same time, we should not speak by which others will get hurt. I think for this, Socrates has given a beautiful formula for us. If you want to tell anything, a person came and told Socrates, I would like to tell, it is very important, very interesting. He said, wait. First, you answer my 3 questions, then I will be interested to listen to you. What is that first? What is the 3 questions? He said, first, is it beneficial for you, for me, or for you? He said, no. The second is it truthful, or is it nearer the truth? May not be. Then the third is does it bring good for anyone and everyone? Anyone? He says, no. Then he said, how much or maybe exciting, how much it may be important, then I don't need this. So this 3 formula given by Socrates, it is better for all of us to practice so that we'll be able to control our speech. Whenever I speak, is it required to speak? If it is pleasant speech, fine. The third is it creating any unpleasant thing unnecessarily for someone? Yes. For an example, now I'm a teacher. A student is doing a bad thing. In spite of telling again and again, sometimes I may have to scold him. Or a father or mother may have to scold son or daughter. Never mind. That we have to do it, no doubt. Unnecessarily, we should not hurt anyone. That's what we mean here. So, Samyak Vak. We should speak as much as required only. Unnecessarily, we should not speak. And we should speak always good words, kind words to other people. And we should not speak unpleasant words by the words or by our speech, which creates pain or agony in others' mind with others. That is what Samyak Vak. Then the third item in the Eightfold Path is Samyak Sankalpa, means right resolve, right resolution. I don't know whether these items are there now. When we were in college days, in the January 1st, so the New Year Day, Gregorian calendar New Year Day, so there was a trend that we should take resolutions, new resolutions for the entire year. Okay, I will do this and I will not do this. I will do this and I will not do this, like that. So they used to ask, okay, what is the new resolution for this year? Once there was a beautiful mention that, oh, resolution? I didn't think much about it. Then when he said, oh, that means are you not taking any new resolution for this year? He said, no, I'm taking, but I didn't think why, because whatever I took previous year, I've never tried to implement. So they're lagging on, they're still lying there only. I will try to do probably this year. So this type of resolution, resolvement, we will keep on doing. No, Lord Buddha is saying that right resolve we have to do. I will take a resolution to control my mind, to do good things, to speak only good things. And I'll be always with a zest and with all cheerfulness, I will stay. Whatever the difficulties may come, I will never react unnecessarily with the other people, and I will never trouble other people. Such type of resolve. I will work hard and I will keep my equanimity of the mind. So many types of good resolutions we can take. So right resolutions we can take. Sometimes we do take resolutions. By hook or crook, I am going to teach a lesson for such and such a person. You see that you should never even forget about me. Such type of resolutions we do take. So Lord Buddha is not taking such type of, speaking of such type of resolutions. Right resolution is telling that, by which I will be beneficial, others also beneficial. And the next one is the fourth one, I think. Yeah, the fourth one is Samyak karmanta, he says, means right living. Means my actions should be good. My thoughts should be good is done. My actions should be good. My actions should be pure. He says that it should be pure. For that, he gives that non-injury, ahimsa, asteya, unnecessary accumulation, unnecessary desiring someone's object or stealing. All these things should be checked. And here brahmacharya means it is not just celibacy or chastity, rather a good thoughts, good life, proper life, ethical life, moral life, we can say. So drinking, gambling, all these things should be, by all means, we should check, we should avoid. So that's what samyak karmanta, rightful living, like moral living or ethical living, we can say. So we have to live our life by moral means, by ethical means. Then the fourth, more or less the same thing, continuation, the extension of this. Fifth one is samyak ajiva, or right livelihood. We have to live a sincere life, sincere practical life with all morality and ethics. So we have to live an ethical life, moral life. That's what samyak ajiva. Samyak ajiva means right livelihood. Then samyak vyayama. Oh, vyayama. Okay. Means we have to do physical exercises. Some of us, we go to gym. Some of us, we may do in the houses. So Lord Buddha also has said that we have to do exercises. No. Here, vyayama is not mean exercise. Here, we have to understand clearly, means efforts. Right efforts. Our efforts should be consistent. It should be qualitative. It should be quantitative. And it should be rightful also. That's what I said. I will make my best attempts to put someone down, to kill someone, to put someone down, to trouble him. Such type of efforts we should never try. So right efforts, proper efforts by which I will be benefited and society also will be benefited. That type of efforts we should put. That is what right efforts. Then samyak smriti, right mindfulness, right awareness. So all today mindfulness, we are all speaking. There are so many books like The Power of Now. Eckhart Tolle has written, and Thich Nhat Hanh, a great Buddhist monk, Miracle of Mindfulness. Also, so many beautiful books have come. Old Path, White Clouds. All these things are based on this item, Buddha's teaching, samyak smriti, mindfulness. So be at present and be non-judgmental, and just whatever you are doing it, and just think on that and don't think anything else. Be non-judgmental, have concentration, and do whatever you are doing and just think that and don't think anything else. So just in a very simple way, I'm trying to put this samyak smriti, right mindfulness or right awareness. Whatever you do with mindful, with awareness. The last one is samyak samadhi. So samadhi is also told, okay, he's in samadhi. Means what? He's nicely sleeping, he's nicely snoring. And one more samadhi is nirvikalpa samadhi, where we see in the life of Swami Vivekananda, life of Sri Ramakrishna and all. So here samadhi means what? Because we see even in Patanjali Yoga Sutra also, we speak of samadhi, there savikalpa samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, savitarka, nirvitarka, all type of samadhis, so many types of samadhis we speak. So is that samadhi here also meant? No. Here samyak samadhi means concentration. It means proper concentration, rightful concentration or full concentration, and rightful understanding. What do you mean by rightful understanding? What is the truth? What is the eternal truth? That we have to understand. So what is the eternal truth? So according to the one school of Buddhistic philosophies, everything is in flux, everything is changing. And the one more one is that because Trishna, the thirst for craving, is the root cause for all of our problems. So get away from that, then you can live a happiest life, peaceful life. And if you say from the Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy is because of ignorance we are suffering, get away from that and understand that you are Atman or Brahman or whatever, self or soul, then you'll be able to understand. So Satyada Arivu means understanding the truth. That's what we mean. Samyak samadhi means rightful concentration. So according to the Buddha, when you follow this eightfold path, then you can also attain the Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva means what happens? The ignorance is removed. You will have a right view about the things, and any things may come, and many things may go. World may not change. We will not. So, and we can see that's what we see in the life of Buddha. There are so many problems in before Buddha and after Buddha, and for Buddha also during his lifetime, but he was not perturbed after attaining his bodhisattva. That's why Siddhartha Gautama, he was called Buddha. Why? Because he attained bodhisattva, bodhi, enlightenment. So he himself said that I am enlightened. So that's why he was known as Buddha. So Buddha stands for enlightenment. He stands for the truth, the final truth. So on this thrice blessed day, on this thrice blessed holy day, let us all think about what is enlightenment, how to attain enlightenment, and also we shall pray to the Lord Buddha so that please give us more and more energy, more and more wisdom and strength, so that we'll be able to follow this eightfold path and we'll be able to attain the enlightenment or nirvana or moksha or mukti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.